Part 7. I Can Break the Dimensional Wall. Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 61. After passing through the space-time channel, Xiaoruo returned to the real world. Turning on the phone, there were indeed a few missed calls, which is normal, even if the time ratio is 1 to 2, now that I have been away from home for a week, it is normal to be worried. However, Xiaoruo said in advance that there may be no signal where he goes, so don't worry if they can't get through the phone. After Xiaoruo came back, she didn't go anywhere else, but went back home directly. As soon as she entered, she saw Xiaomeng and her mother watching TV. There were still more than 10 days before school started, and Xiaomeng didn't go to school either. I'm back. Xiaoruo is back. Why did you go out to play for so long, and there was no signal when I called you? Xiaoruo's mother seemed a little unhappy. I've only been walking for a week, didn't I say that? My friend is on the mountain, and the signal is not good, Xiaoruo explained. Tom, I miss you so much, Xiaomeng said directly, rushing to hug Tom without even looking at Xiaoruo. Meow. Tom was rubbed again helplessly, but he was very calm, knowing that he would be doomed. He didn't resist, but enjoyed the feeling of being rubbed. Huh? Don't you miss your brother? Am I not as important as Tom? Xiaoruo asked with a look at her sister. Of course Tom is more important. Xiaomeng gasped. Okay, alright, although I'm not as good as Tom, but I miss you very much, brother. Where's the present? Bring it to me. Is there any? Hearing that his sister asked for a gift, Xiaoruo suddenly felt a little grateful to Chun. He had already forgotten about bringing the gift. If it wasn't for the guard from Chun, he would really be empty-handed after returning. But I can't blame Xiaoruo, because there is really nothing good to bring. I can't bring a little monster back. Give. Xiaoruo took out the guard given by Chun from her pocket, and put it in Xiaomeng's hand. What is this, a mobile phone pendant? Xiaomeng picked up the guard and looked at it. She seemed to have seen this kind of thing in Japanese TV dramas and movies. It should be something similar to an amulet. Many Japanese like to wear this kind of thing. The pattern on it is very delicate. It's also very mysterious. When she touched this thing, she felt her body relax a lot. Really so amazing? It's a bit powerful. A talisman from Japan, it was given to me by a very powerful shaman girlfriend. It is very precious, so please keep it carefully, Xiaoruo said, and took out another one and gave it to my mother. Mom has it too. Xiaoruo's mother also took it happily, praised Xiaoruo, and took it with her. What? Maiko. Xiaomeng noticed the word Maiko. She seemed very interested, and her voice became louder. Xiaomeng has recently learned Japanese and learned some Japanese culture, so she naturally knows what Maiko means. In Japan, Maiko is the spokesperson of the gods. Rare and mysterious profession. It's actually a Japanese witch. Brother, you can even know a witch. It's too good. Xiaomeng really looked at her brother with admiration this time. This ability is not easy. A witch? It sounds a bit mysterious. Although Xiaoruo's mother didn't know what a witch was, she could guess from the name alone, but that wasn't what she cared about. I didn't expect Xiaoruo to go out with a girl these days. Didn't she say that they were just ordinary friends? What about the girl who came back to our house? Xiaoruo's mother's smile was a little dangerous. Cough cough cough. Xiaoruo coughed violently. Some things cannot be explained to my mother, because the explanation can only become more and more chaotic. This is years of experience, so Xiaoruo gave up explaining and ran back to her room directly. But what Xiaoruo didn't expect was that Xiaomeng followed her in. What are you doing here? Xiaoruo asked, puzzled. Which, do you have a picture of the witch you mentioned just now? I haven't seen a witch yet. Brother, hurry up and show Xiaomeng the picture. Show me. Xiaomeng suddenly began to act coquettishly, she was just too curious about witches. Okay, let me look for it. Xiaoruo couldn't stand it anymore. After all, it was his sister who was acting like a baby to him. He had no choice but to search in his phone. He remembered that he took a few photos of Chun. Brother, are you going to live at the witch's house these few days? Xiaomeng suddenly asked curiously. Ahem, how is it possible? I have been camping in the mountains with my witch and girlfriend these few days. If you don't believe me, I will show you the photos. Xiaoruo has already dug out the photos of camping with Tsubaki from her mobile phone. Let me see, let me see. Xiaomeng approached quickly, her tone agitated, and she said let me see twice in a row. She has been staying at home these days, but she didn't expect her brother to go on a trip with the witch. I'm so envious. Xiaoruo found the photos and showed her the phone. This is a photo of us warming up on the mountain, this is a photo of me and Tom leaning against the campfire, this is. In fact, Xiaoruo took a lot of photos. After all, it was a trip. Xiaoruo took pictures of some interesting scenery. Naturally, Chun appeared in the photo. The clothes Chun wore were the kind of clothes that were incompatible with modern times. Chun's delicate face under the moonlight, or against the bonfire, even if she doesn't show her beauty can still surprise people through photos, but Xiaoruo doesn't take many photos of Chun alone, most of them are with Xiaoruo group photo. Xiaomeng couldn't help but widen her eyes when she saw Chun, she was really shocked. It's so beautiful, and it feels so temperamental. It has a mysterious feeling. Is this a witch? It's more temperamental than I imagined. Brother, you actually know such a beautiful witch. It's beautiful, and let me tell you, this witch is very powerful. What does it mean to be strong? Xiaomeng asked puzzled. Only then did Xiaoruo realize that she seemed to have said something wrong, and immediately explained, I was wrong in describing, Tsubaki is a very powerful witch, that is, she has a lot of professional knowledge, and she does very well in activities such as sacrifices and prayers. Is a very famous witch in the local area. Well, there is also a lot of knowledge about eliminating demons and curses, which Xiaoruo didn't say. Oh, that's it? Xiaomeng nodded, expressing that she understood. From the mysterious temperament, it can be seen that she is a very powerful witch, and it is true, her name is Chun, and her name is also good to hear. Hey, what's the matter with this photo? Brother, why is there a long thing flying behind you, with a face on it, so scary? Xiaomeng suddenly pointed to a photo and asked Xiaoruo, then this photo is a photo of Xiaoruo and the monster before. It's over, forget about it. Oh, this is a special attraction installation in our camping area. It is specially designed to help tourists take pictures of ghosts. The monsters inside are actually props, so they look realistic. So that's the case, Xiaomeng looked at the photo and nodded. It's really realistic, like taking a photo with a monster. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zhou Zhezi Jumiao. Chapter 62. Then you will bring that witch home. Didn't you say that she is in Tianbei City recently? Xiaomeng asked curiously. Probably not, she is very busy, so she probably doesn't have time to come. So that's the case, Xiaomeng nodded. Well, brother, next time you go, take me with you. I want to go camping too. I've been crazy at home these days, Xiaomeng said coquettishly, pulling Xiaoruo's clothes. Don't even think about it, just stay at home honestly. Xiaoruo refused without hesitation, how could she take anyone there casually? Why, was rejected like this, Xiaomeng was a little unexpected. However, when flipping through the photos, Xiaomeng discovered a detail. Her brother took quite a lot of photos, and the surrounding environment seemed to be in the wild, uninhabited place. However, among so many photos, it seemed that there was only one tent. There is only one tent, so what should I do to sleep at night? Doesn't this mean that he and the witch slept in the same tent? Humph, blame me for having to bring myself. Xiaomeng pouted angrily, since it was this kind of trip, there was no need for her to go. But it's really enviable to have someone to accompany you to play in the wild like this. Is this a hateful cash charge? Huh. Brother, have you exercised recently? Your figure seems to have improved. After Xiaomeng approached, she found that her brother seemed to be different from before. He really had a better figure. He used to be very thin, but now he obviously stretched out his clothes. I didn't notice it before. This time I saw the photo as the time approached, I felt this clearly. I've been exercising recently, did you just find out? Xiaoruo replied flatly, as if this was just a trivial matter. The effect is so obvious. I don't know which gym you go to, Xiaomeng asked curiously, and even stepped forward to touch it with her hands, poking here and there. Well, it's real muscle, and it looks like it's been trained for a long time. I didn't go to the gym, but I just practiced at home by myself, doing push-ups, and the muscles came out. It's quite simple. The most important thing is a healthy diet and perseverance, Xiaoruo explained seriously. Xiaomeng. Can muscle be trained so easily? The shocked Xiaomeng left, always feeling that she could no longer communicate with her brother normally. After Xiaomeng left, Xiaoruo was finally the only one left in the room. At this time, Xiaoruo also started to open the system panel to look at her recent gains. Name, Xiaoruo. Reputation, LV1, 546/1000. The prestige is growing very fast, and it will increase a lot every day. It's just because the flow rate of the Inuyasha world and the real world is different, so now the prestige is only more than 500 points. It seems that upgrading to level 2 is not too difficult. In order to continue to increase her prestige, Xiaoruo turned on the computer and opened the Mengzhan again. Because Xiaoruo designed it to be released on a regular basis, both Tom and Jerry and King Ian Girl are being released normally, but because Xiaoruo updates quickly, Cat and Jerry is almost finished playing, and King Ian Girl is about to be released. The first season of Girl only has a dozen episodes, and it is almost over, and Xiaoruo is not in a hurry to upload the second season. The ratings of the two animations are above 9.5, which is almost the standard of a masterpiece. Pujari has only uploaded 2 episodes, and it hasn't been updated for a week. The number of followers is still very high. Because the genre is novel, the score is not too bad. Xiaoruo uploaded the latest video. After the animation was uploaded, not many people watched it, and Xiaoruo was fine, so she just played with her mobile phone, just swiping her mobile phone every day, watching hot news on some browsers, not knowing whether the news was true or not, just idle, get bored, kill time, waste your life. However, the big data on the internet will still push some things you like to watch, and what is pushed to Xiaoruo is usually animation, games and the like. Flipping through the phone, Xiaoruo suddenly noticed the news about the Rising Animation. The latest project of Rising Animation. Mr. Xia's latest strategy. Puff. Seeing this news, Xiaoruo immediately regained her spirits. What plan? What strategy? Subconsciously, Xiaoruo clicked on the news. The content of this news first praised the Rising Animation, and recently created many new types of animation with extremely high ratings. For example, the classic masterpiece Tom and Jerry, as well as the cute animation Light Sound Girl co-produced with foreign companies, and the new type of time travel animation Pian-Igen, especially the first 2 animations, have become popular all over the internet. Except for these 3, the other animations produced by Rise are not mentioned. However, Xiaoruo found some interesting news in the news, that is, Dad sold the broadcast rights of Light Tone Girl and Cat and Mouse to the TV station he worked for before, But how much did they sell for? The news didn't mention it, but presumably it sold a lot, and the peripherals of the animation also started to sell. A successful animation is still quite profitable. I think my father's company is not short of money now. At that time, Xiaoruo and Xiaogenzi talked about the animation copyright and the use of peripherals, all of which were handled by the father himself, and Xiaoruo had no time to do such things. As for the latest project mentioned in the news, it is actually the huge plan of the animation PNIGen, which is preparing to cross dimensions, and the latest strategy is that Rising Animation has started to recruit people on a large scale. Hiring. Xiaoruo didn't expect her father to start recruiting people. Is it to cover for himself to expand the small and shabby animation company? At night, Xiaoruo followed Xiaogenzi to his study after seeing her father come back. "You're back," Xiaogenzi looked at his son with a sneer on his face. "Well, I'm back." Xiaoruo was a little embarrassed. He always felt that something was wrong with the atmosphere around the study. "Well, why didn't you turn on the lights at night? It was too dark to rely on that small desk lamp." Kind of like an interrogation. Xiaogenzi just looked at Xiaoruo quietly, without saying a word, just stared at him, staring at Xiaoruo a little hairy. "Dad, turn on the light." "Need not. I've watched the animation of Pugiri and it's well done. It really has you. You are still the protagonist in it, and Tom. It just so happens that you and Tom have disappeared recently, and the phone is still unreachable," Xiaogenzi said with his fingers. He knocked on the table without any emotion in his tone. "Where have you been lately?" "That. This matter must not be hidden. People who don't know will think that the animation is produced, but my father is very clear about this matter. Didn't I say it last time, that black crack appeared? Huh. And then? And then I accidentally fell. Sometimes, if you want to hide it, you can't hide it at all, and it is unrealistic to keep the secret by yourself. If you need prestige, you must have someone to support it. Moreover, Xiaoruo still trusts her father." So Xiaoruo confessed. "So you are saying that after the death of the gatekeeper of the Black Crack, he gave you the task of guarding the gate. You have to go in every once in a while to complete the task, and then take pictures to be watched by others to gain reputation. Otherwise, the gatekeeper in the Black Crack monsters are out to tear reality apart, and your job is to protect the world, right?" "Yes, that's it," Xiaoruo nodded seriously. Xiaogenzi looked at his son with a strange look, and the general meaning of that look was just that. "I believe you, Ghost. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I can break the dimensional wall." Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 63. Although Xiaoruo exaggerated the story a little bit, the general content did not deviate too much. What if monsters really invaded the world in the future? After I become stronger, I may really be able to protect the world. Dad didn't believe it. Xiaoruo had no choice but to take out the samurai sword he got in the world of Inuyasha from the portable space, and then split the thrown apple into 4 pieces in an instant. Xiaogenzi could only be forced believe it. Of course not by force. It was Xiaoruo who proved with practical actions that he could become stronger through this opportunity. What he experienced was a very precious opportunity for him, and he did not want to give up this opportunity. Moreover, traveling through the world and obtaining things from another world will be beneficial to my family in the future. Xiaogenzi smoked a cigarette and thought about it for a long time. Finally, he sighed and looked at his son with a complicated expression. "Well, I originally thought about having a son, then watching him go to school, grow up, marry a wife, and finally support me for a long time. I didn't expect that there are such things in the world. Since what you have decided is your choice, all I can do is support you." Xiaoruo nodded, and took back the samurai sword in her hand. There was no need to prove it anymore. How to say, "You are also my son." Xiaogenzi suddenly stood up, walked in front of Xiaoruo, hugged him, and patted his back. For a moment, Xiaoruo felt the care of his father. By the way, if you come to the world of comprehension in the future, don't forget to bring back this cheat book. Your father and I have wanted to cultivate immortals since we were young. It would be even better if we could bring some treasures from heaven and earth. Is Dad so real? Xiaoruo couldn't help laughing. It was indeed similar to her own personality. Dad, don't worry, I will definitely think of our family first when I see good things. Then I'll wait. Afterwards, the father and son chatted all night. The content was about the planning of the rising animation, how to hide the secret, and how to improve the reputation. Of course, Xiaogenzi also chatted with Xiaoruo about how to use the cultivation cheats, how to live forever and so on, with an unusually serious expression. One night passed. Obviously he was so excited that he didn't sleep all night, but Xiaogenzi was still full of energy. Xiaoruo always felt that after knowing the truth, his father was more excited than himself. After thinking about it, it is true. I do the hard work by myself, and I also do the time travel by myself. My father followed suit. If I have such a son, I will be excited. The plan after the rise is to expand the company and recruit more employees, otherwise, some of them are really unreasonable based on the previous shabby configuration. Xiaoruo put forward her own suggestion, hoping to recruit an animation supervisor in Japan. After all, there will be many Japanese animations in the future, and a reasonable explanation needs to be given. With Japanese supervision, when Japanese-style animations are complained about, there can be some explanations. And expanding the company's scale is not really a display. Now that he has money, Xiaogenzi tells Xiaoruo that he has long wanted to reset the story of Yankin. Of course, new animations can also be produced. With funds, it is impossible for new animations to fail. Xiaoruo didn't stop him when he learned of his father's idea. He also wanted to know what would happen to the system if the system kept making him crack down on his father's animation. With sufficient funds, his animation really succeeded. Change. By the way, here you are, let's take a look at the resume I received recently. Xiaogenzi sent some resume information to Xiaoruo. Xiaoruo used the computer to receive the files, many of which were resumes received by Rising, which my father had received before. Xiaoruo roughly looked at the domestic job hunting information, but didn't care, because it was all right for Xiaoruo. As for the cover letter of the Japanese animation director, there is also a cover letter. Of course, it is possible that the salary offered by Rise is very generous. There are a lot of animation talents in Japan, but not many people submit their resumes, not even 10. Obviously, the salary is already very high. Moreover, there is no official animation director among the job seekers. They are all original painters, storyboards, and the like. It looks like you're giving it a try, and you don't seem to care about whether you succeed or not. The works are not very good. Xiaoruo shook her head. Indeed, I am not a well-known big company here, and I am not well known in Japan. It is good to have someone submit a resume. Fortunately, Xiaoruo can understand Japanese and can understand their resumes. Xiaoruo continued to read. Her brows became more and more wrinkled. All of them were rotten fish and shrimps, and the works were mediocre. However, when Xiaoruo turned to the last resume, Xiaoruo noticed that the resume was written in Chinese. Although the grammar was a bit awkward, she could see the intentions in it. Nakako Yamada? On the resume in Xiaoruo's hand, the work experience of Naoko Yamada is written. He is an original artist of a small animation company in Japan. This time he is applying for the position of animation director. The work experience is only 3 years, and I have participated in many animation works. No, it should be a lot of animation works, and the many are a bit scary. However, they are not very famous animations. She is only 24 years old now, and she seems to be a fairly ordinary newcomer, but her resume actually mentioned Qingyin Girl. Naoko Yamada's reason for applying for the job was also written on her resume. She liked the anime Kane Girl very much, so she searched for relevant information about this company, and found the recruitment information by accident, so she submitted her resume. Was the pirated version caught by the genuine one? The corners of Sioruo's mouth twitched, and she carefully read her evaluation and analysis of Light Tone Girl. They all have a very unique and thorough understanding, and there are also many of her own works, and a strong girlish wind blows over her face. Exquisite girly original paintings, not weaker than any animation on the market. Sioruo already believed that she was the Naoko Yamada in his impression. This world is different from the previous life, but some famous people still exist. For example, there is a very powerful kung fu superstar named Chen Long. Although the name is different, but other than that, his experience is exactly the same as that of the previous kung fu superstar. And it is not very strange that there is Naoko Yamada in this world. But how did she know about Qingyin? Has the fame of Qingyin spread to Japan? Naoko Yamada, a genius director of Kyoto Animation. If you want to understand Kyoto Animation, you can't get around this talented female supervisor. She was promoted to animation director at the fastest speed, and made her own reputation in the first work she supervised. Out. The first animation she supervised was Kane Girl. The original work of Qingyin Girl is a 4-panel comic similar to Aishai, which is composed of small plots as a whole, and is not very popular. However, Naoko Yamada's talent has brought the animation of Kane Girl to an impossible ceiling height. The success of the work is definitely not due to luck, but mainly depends on the talent of the creator. Naoko Yamada is regarded as an animation director in Japan who understands girls' hearts best. Some stories can only be written by girls. Almost anyone who knows Naoko Yamada will know her unique close-up of legs, and even some successors will learn and imitate her storyboard performances. But few people can hold the girl's heart like Yamada Naoko. In fact, it is not just a close-up of the legs. Yamada Naoko's talent is through the girl's gestures, sitting postures, pendants, all of which convey the girl's unspeakable thoughts. In addition to expressions, there are so many ways to express, so it is extraordinarily delicate and attractive. Yamada Naoko's talent can express the most pure and beautiful feelings among girls. The girl with light music she created didn't sell meat at all, but it attracted the love of countless boys. In that era, it was definitely a unique talent. Looking at this resume, Sioruo recalled the legendary experience of Naoko Yamada, and took a deep breath. Although Naoko Yamada is still young, his talent has already begun to show, and he will surely become famous one day in the future. This talent must be dug over. To be honest, Sioruo's Hwagyo legendary masterpiece The Story of Yankin is short of such a talented animation supervisor. For this reason, Sioruo personally wrote an email to Naoko Yamada, which was full of appreciation for Naoko Yamada, and dissatisfaction with Naoko Yamada not being reused, and hoped that Naoko Yamada would join her team, and we can create the world together, the best animations on the web. Talk about dreams, talk about feelings, an email is full of deceit. By the way, Yamada Naoko from the original world joined Kyoto Animation as soon as she graduated. The relaxed atmosphere of Kyoto Animation is just like a fish in water for Yamada Naoko, and she has become famous at this age. In this world without Kyoto Animation, Sioruo was a little curious about what animation company Naoko Yamada joined. In a small animation company in Japan, Naoko Yamada is drawing original drawings. It's just that when drawing, Yamada Naoko frowned from time to time, as if he was not very satisfied. It shouldn't be like this, Yamada Naoko sighed. He wanted to be an animator since he was a child, and now he has entered this industry, but he couldn't find the fun he wanted at all. Because she is good at drawing female characters, Naoko Yamada now draws a cute anime girl, but her body is exposed too much. Animation selling meat will never enter the mainstream, but I can only draw these things. Naoko Yamada rubbed his somewhat sore shoulders, but it doesn't matter, it's for living. Naoko Yamada has given up on his ideals and feelings. The hardships of life have shattered everything, and Yamada can't help but fall into memories. I remember that was the first day at work. This is a newcomer, let's meet everyone. I am a newcomer, Naoko Yamada, please give me your advice. The energetic Yamada Naoko bowed politely to the seniors present. Beauty newcomer. There hasn't been a newcomer for a long time. Welcome. Everyone is very enthusiastic, Yamada Naoko thought. Thanks for your hard work. After get off work at 8 o'clock, everyone in the company had dinner and drinks together. Naoko Yamada didn't drink, but felt that the atmosphere around the company was quite good, and the chat was very happy, just like the colleagues in the company I imagined. Seniors are so cool. I also want to work hard and make some achievements. The young Yamada Naoko clenched her fists and secretly made up her mind. However, at the moment when everyone finished eating, a sudden change occurred. Thank you very much for today, seniors. Starting tomorrow, please take care of me. As soon as Oyamada finished speaking, the seniors present had already packed up their things and stood up. Naoko Yamada felt that something was wrong with the atmosphere. It was like the air, cooling down in an instant. So it's time to go back to work. Work overtime. I worked overtime until 3 o'clock, and Yamada Naoko was still drawing the original painting, and it took a while before I got off work. Do you always feel that something is wrong? Go to work at 9 o'clock the next morning. Morning, seniors. Morning. 12 o'clock at night. When will I be able to go back? Naoko Yamada's hands were trembling. I bought the supper, the leader of the working group walked in with the supper. No. I won't be able to go back tonight either. Yamada Naoko's eyes suddenly went dark. Although there is a lot of overtime in this job, the colleagues are very nice, the working atmosphere is also good, and the salary is also good, so it is quite a good job. And the conversations that everyone has at work every day are also very interesting. Oh, there are so many holidays every year, so we get more wages for overtime work. How long did you work overtime last month? It's only 120 hours. It's still far away. It's nothing without 150 hours. Even if I have a stomach perforation, I'm still working. Without bleeding, you are still not as good at work as I am. The unrestricted overtime hell tortured Naoko Yamada. After 3 years, Naoko Yamada, who was mentally depressed, seemed to realize something. Could it be that I joined a black heart company? It seems that they are used to being submissive. The people in the company did not resign, perhaps because of herd mentality, and Naoko Yamada did not resign either. As for the idea of job hopping, it was also because of an accident. For Naoko Yamada, as an animation industry, watching fan dramas is also a necessary content. By chance, when she saw Light Music Girl, Yamada Naoko felt an impulse, the kind of impulse that she once dreamed of. Naoko Yamada wanted to know who made this animation, and Naoko Yamada found the introduction of this company. Coincidentally, she found their recruitment information. Subconsciously, Naoko Yamada posted her resume. Companies in Hwagyo probably don't work overtime. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zojazi Jumiao. Chapter 64. Naoko Yamada doesn't know how many times she's watched Light Music Girl. This work is very relaxing and different from previous works. It is estimated that this work will form a trend. Looking at the original picture of selling meat that she drew, Naoko Yamada couldn't help but sighed. If I create a work like Light Music Girl by myself, I have nothing to complain about even if I work overtime. But at this time, Naoko Yamada found that he had received a new email. Logically speaking, no one should send emails to him during this time period. Naoko Yamada clicked on the email with the mouse. Oh, so I passed the resume I sent. Naoko Yamada shook his head, and it took a few seconds for him to realize what happened. Why? The loud voice attracted the attention of the surrounding colleagues, and everyone looked at Naoko Yamada suspiciously. What's wrong, Yamada? Pay attention, this is the company. The fat pig-like president of the animation company reprimanded severely after seeing Yamada's exclamation. Yes, sorry. Naoko Yamada covered her little mouth, and looked at the email in disbelief. Did she just pass the application? Just sent out a resume, no phone interview, and no other tedious procedures, just passed. Just relying on his ordinary resume that can no longer be ordinary? Are you really so lucky? However, after carefully reading the email sent by Syaruo, Yamada slightly changed his opinion. The view of the person who sent the email is definitely ahead of this era, and he appreciates his own work very much. In the email, he has been talking about dreams and the future, and even said that the future animation is in our hands. The salary is also higher than the current job, and the air ticket is reimbursed, so you can directly become an animation supervisor when you go there. Compared with the current job, it is simply heaven. It doesn't look like a scam, but do you really want to go to Hwagyo? Naoko Yamada fell into confusion. As an ordinary Japanese woman, being able to live a peaceful life in Japan for the rest of her life is already very satisfying. The idea of going abroad to work was just an impulse at that time. In other words, I was a little curious about the ancient country of Hwagyo. Naoko Yamada learned some Chinese in college, but it was only a simple daily level. Can I really survive in Hwagyo? Naoko Yamada never thought that she would be admitted, because the production team of Qingyin Girl is obviously extremely good, and someone with no merits like herself should not be selected. Fight. The Japanese are still in the second year of middle school, and the most girlish people like Naoko Yamada are no exception. Since someone needs me, it doesn't matter which country they are from. She is only 24 years old now, and Naoko Yamada doesn't want her to continue working overtime endlessly like this in the future. Even if she fails, she will start all over again. She doesn't want to work in this broken company. Naoko Yamada stood up suddenly, glanced around at the colleagues who were still working hard, and suddenly felt a sense of relief. Naoko Yamada resigned that day and bought a plane ticket to China. After dealing with domestic matters, Naoko Yamada will be able to go to the company that created miracles in about a week. Syaruo uploaded the latest episode of Pujiri with a very good response. This chapter of Wu Yao is very similar to the early chapters of a general hot-blooded manga, slowly revealing the world of monsters. Syaruo and Chun's two-line battle, plus Shang Tom is funny from time to time. Generally speaking, it is still at a normal level. After the setting is accepted, many viewers in the comment area are looking forward to the follow-up plot development. Most are for updates. Compared with the two animations released at the beginning, the update of the animation of Kankyo is a bit too slow. This world is not exactly the same as in the previous life. In the previous life, the quarterly animation broadcast mode has been popularized, and the weekly update mode is deeply rooted in the hearts of the people. The audience is used to waiting for updates on the internet. But in this world, most domestic animations are broadcast on TV stations, and many cartoons broadcast on TV stations are still the same as TV dramas. After all animations are produced, at least 2 episodes will be broadcast on TV a day. There will be that kind of weekly update in the online broadcast, but it is rare. Contrary to what Syaruo thought, Syaruo was not satisfied with the prestige gain when the latest episode of Pujiri was played. It may be that only when the character appeared at the very beginning, the character's prestige increased the most. It only grows when new audiences join. There is no way around this. The main thing that limits the reputation is the number of viewers. Now it can only be played a little bit at first, and the popularity will be accumulated in the early stage. When there are more episodes, it may become popular. After staying at home for a few days, Syaruo had nothing to do, so she was going to go to Inuyasha's world again. Danger. Wait a minute, am I forgetting something? Syaruo subconsciously felt the crisis. It seemed that there was one thing that would be dangerous if she didn't remember it. By the way, I almost forgot to bring a gift for Tsubaki. It would be bad luck if I forgot. Syaruo patted her head and suddenly remembered this matter. When she left, she promised to be fine. If she returned empty-handed, then something really went wrong. Although I feel that Tsubaki might not care, but she didn't bring anything with her anyway. No, it's impossible for Tsubaki not to care. She is not a kind woman. The next prank curses or something. It's so dangerous, but I remembered it. Before that, Chun gave her own guards to her family members. Syaruo also planned to choose some things that Chun liked, and Syaruo already had countermeasures for the things she prepared. To prepare gifts, it is natural to find a professional person, and there happens to be such a person in the family. Xiaomeng is watching a TV series in the living room. At home, she usually wears loose casual clothes, and then leans lazily on the sofa, huddled up, with a bottle of yogurt in her hand, drinking milk while watching TV. When she doesn't go shopping, she just stays at home and watches TV. Xiaomeng is the kind of little girl who likes to watch ancient romance dramas and Korean dramas. She is super pretty. Except for some TV sets starring handsome little brothers, she is not very interested in anything else. Syaruo found her sister directly and explained the situation. What, you said you want me to take you to buy a gift for that witch girlfriend? Xiaomeng tilted her head and confirmed it to her brother. Yes, that's why I asked you to help me. You are good at shopping, and the clothes you buy are also beautiful. Syaruo nodded. He believed in his sister. Xiaomeng usually buys good things. Very girly. You really have vision. Xiaomeng couldn't hide the pride on her face when she heard her brother's praise, and happily finished the yogurt in one breath. In that case, then I'll help you. By the way, does your friend have anything he likes in particular? Or a hobby? Xiaomeng sat up straight and asked, to learn something and choose a gift. The things I like, I think she likes to eat delicious food. She likes to eat the food we made when we were camping, Syaruo replied after thinking about it. Except for food. Xiaomeng shook her head. Everyone likes food, so it's useless. Well, by the way, she loves beauty very much, and cares about her appearance very much. Syaruo remembered one more thing. In the original novel, Chun loves beauty very much, and feels that her beauty is unparalleled in the world. Later, in order to maintain her beauty, she devours monsters and completely degenerates into a villain. Amy, this is normal, Xiaomeng nodded empathetically. It's normal for a girl to love beauty, but if my brother said this, he probably loves beauty very much. It's easier to choose gifts. Let's go. Xiaomeng jumped off the sofa. Where are you going? Where to go? Of course to the mall. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zhou Zhazi Jumiao. Chapter 65. Don't you have to go to the mall to buy things for your friends? Don't you want to buy them online? Xiaomeng asked, looking at her brother. Okay, let's go, Syaruo nodded. If you buy online, you don't know how long it will take for the courier to arrive, and it's good to let Xiaomeng choose gifts in the mall. In the end, Syaruo and her sister often go to the shopping mall. Without hesitation, Xiaomeng took Syaruo to the cosmetics area. It's here. Cosmetics are just needed for girls, so there is definitely nothing wrong with giving cosmetics, Xiaomeng said while leading her brother to a cosmetics store. You can read it here, but if you want to give a gift, I recommend lipstick and perfume. These two are better as gifts, Xiaomeng recommended. Huh? Xiaoruo turned her head to look at her sister's face, a little puzzled. Do you usually put on makeup? No, I just use some of my mother's skincare products occasionally. What do you think I'm doing? I'm still a student and I rarely wear makeup. Xiaomeng covered her face after being stared at by her brother. To be honest, for some girls with light makeup, Xiaoruo really can't tell whether they have makeup on or not, and even Xiaoruo doesn't know if Tsubaki has makeup on or not. It seems that she is wearing something similar to lipstick. Hurry up and choose your gift. Alright. With Xiaomeng on the sidelines, choosing a gift was quite easy. Although she said she didn't need cosmetics, she still chose a gift box for her favorite perfume and a gift box for lipstick for Xiaoruo. According to her, there is absolutely no problem in giving it to a girl, and it will not look straight, and Xiaomeng also chooses the type that is not very expensive and has a high cost performance. Xiaoruo couldn't understand what Xiaomeng explained about the lipstick color, type of perfume, etc. She could only nod her head and wait for Xiaomeng to choose and pay. Okay, according to me, it's fine for you to give this kind of gift. Xiaomeng patted her chest confidently, very confident in her choice. Well, thank you very much. Xiaoruo also felt that Chun would like it very much as a gift. When she bought a gift and was about to go back, Xiaoruo saw the women's clothing section again, and then stopped. You are here, do you want to buy Chun a dress? This idea suddenly popped into his mind. The animation world is very strange. Except for some special animations, many characters in the animation always wear one piece of clothing and rarely change clothes. Tsubaki also wears that robe type witch costume all the time. I don't know if she will like modern clothes. For beautiful clothes, girls should also like it. It's not that Xiaoruo has any other ideas, he just thinks that Chun seems to only have one set of clothes to wear, and if it is torn during the battle, there must be a spare. And this time I already have cosmetics as a gift, so I don't want to give her the clothes, but put them in my personal space first, and then take them out when I need them. It can be used as a gift or as spare clothes, so you can take it out in case you forget to bring a gift next time. Why don't you help me choose a women's dress? Xiaoruo turned to her sister and said. Huh? Women's clothes? You want to send clothes? Xiaomeng asked suspiciously. What's wrong? Can't you send clothes? Xiaoruo asked back. Yes, Xiaomeng nodded. Anyway, he is giving a gift to his girlfriend, and he can give anything. What kind of clothes do you plan to give? It's up to you to choose. Choose whatever you like, and I'll just pay for it. Xiaoruo still felt a bit too troublesome to choose the clothes for gift. Good and bad. Whether you are beautiful or not mainly depends on your face and body. I choose. Alright? Xiaomeng didn't expect her brother to trust her so much. Naturally, she couldn't live up to this trust, and she must do her best to help her brother choose gifts. You must know that she is a little princess shopping and a master of small skirt appreciation. She has long set her sights on a dress, which is super beautiful, but that dress is too mature, and she is not old enough to wear it, but that dress has really made her coveted for a long time. I asked my brother about the girl's height and figure, and she directly found the location where she saw the skirt last time, and then packed it without asking her brother. Anyway, no matter what I choose, my brother will only nod, so I might as well surprise my brother by myself. Xiaomeng chose a bright red dress with suspenders and off-the-shoulder type, which felt a bit like a wedding dress. She was thinking, if the woman in the photo is really wearing this dress, she must be very beautiful. It didn't take long to choose the gift. Xiaomeng's efficiency was very fast. It didn't take even an hour to go shopping, and the gift was already bought. Back home, Sioruo put the gift in the portable space, and took Tom across again. The time ratio can be adjusted in both directions. Sioruo stayed at home for 4 days, but in fact, 2 days have passed in the Inuyasha world. When going to the Inuyasha world, Sioruo adjusted the ratio to the fast flow rate of the Inuyasha world. The white vortex disappeared, and Sioruo appeared in the room. The location where Sioruo appeared was actually the room where he stayed temporarily in the village, because he traveled back from here, but suddenly, he heard a voice. "You're back." The sudden appearance of a female voice startled Sioruo, and she turned her head to look over, only to find that Chun was sitting there kneeling, quietly, not knowing what to do. This woman can't stay in her room well, why did she come to her room? Sioruo is a little strange. Chun looked at Sioruo with curious eyes. The space technique you used is very exquisite. It is different from the storage ability. It is a very powerful technique. Did you just come back from the family? Sioruo told Chun that he returned home through space ability, so Chun knew. Yeah, I kept Ms. Chun waiting for a long time. During the few days I left, did Ms. Chun feel bored? Without my cooking, could she not be able to eat ordinary meals? Sioruo smiled and looked at Chun face asked. No, after you left, I have relaxed a lot these days, and I can eat 2 more bowls when I eat, Tsubaki said expressionlessly. Ahem, Sioruo couldn't help coughing when she heard this, as if she didn't expect Chun to answer like this. Seeing Sioruo's reaction, Chun's face was still expressionless, but there was a hint of a smile in his eyes. Welcome back. Well, I'm back. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 66. Miss Chun, I brought you a present when I went back this time, see if you like it. Sioruo took out the perfume gift box and lipstick gift box she had prepared. The packaging of the gifts was exquisite, and Sioruo put the gifts in front of Chun. Gifts, I don't really care about such things. Chun said so, but still took all the gift boxes and looked at the box with curious eyes, as if guessing what was inside. Sioruo is a little speechless. Is this duplicity? He obviously seemed to care about it, but he didn't seem to care about it. Fortunately, he brought his own gift. Sioruo went up to open the gift box for Chun, then took out the lipstick and perfume, and introduced it to Chun. After hearing what Sioruo said about the effect of the item, Chun's eyes lit up. Although she really wanted to try the effect of lipstick, she was a little embarrassed to use lipstick in front of Sioruo. She should use it again when she has a chance. So she just sprayed on the perfume and tried it, and sure enough, there was a faint fragrance lingering on her body. Chun liked this gift very much, but her mouth still had that indifferent look. It's okay, I also have such things as rouge, but thank you anyway. Although she doesn't seem to care about these gifts, for Tsubaki, being able to say thank you is already a huge change. At least according to her previous personality, she almost never said the word thank you to others. It's fine if you like it. Ms. Chun is a very beautiful girl, very temperamental, and it works well with anything. Sioruo also felt the change in Chun, and said with a smile. Although Chun's performance has always been very plain, she still couldn't resist Sioruo's straightforward praise, so she could only hum softly and look elsewhere. Being praised by Sioruo all the time, even Chun felt a little embarrassed. Chun suddenly thought that Sioruo is actually a very good person, who brought him gifts and praised him gently all the time, but he never praised Sioruo a word, and was always indifferent to him. Shall I praise him too? Tsubaki suddenly thought of this kind of problem. Tsubaki used to never think about such things, but recently she has become a little girl for some reason. But Tsubaki does not praise others, nor has he ever praised. By the way, has Ms. Chun eaten? I brought some snacks, which I got from my sister. Sioruo took out 2 packs of snacks from the space and distributed them to Chun. It's just that kind of ordinary bear biscuit, without any other ideas, it's just Sioruo taking it casually, eating it as a snack when you're bored. Chun took it, opened it, and ate 2 mouthfuls, but after Chun ate it, she felt dry. She looked at Sioruo, and suddenly, Chun thought of a good idea. The snacks you mentioned are not as delicious as your cooking. I prefer to eat your cooking. Really? When Sioruo heard this, she turned her head and looked at Chun, who was actually praising her delicious food. You mean, my cooking is delicious? Well, Chun nodded earnestly, although there was still not much expression on his face. Your cooking is delicious, the best I have ever eaten. Hearing this sentence, Sioruo was really happy. No one usually praised her cooking skills. Sioruo couldn't eat anything when she ate her own cooking, but she just felt so. Today is the first time I have been praised so much. In the past, Tsubaki just ate without thinking, and said delicious to the sky. Why has there been such a big change today? Did you feel better after receiving the gift? But Sioruo was a little too complacent, and asked one more question, which was actually just a random question. Which of the dishes I have cooked is the best? Tsubaki lowered her head and pondered for a while, then thought of something. The noodles you made for the first time are the best. Noodle. The noodles I made for the first time, instant noodles. What I make is not as good as instant noodles. Click. The smile on Sioruo's face was frozen, and then gradually disappeared. Meow ha 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 ha. Tom, who was eavesdropping on the side, couldn't help but let out a human-like laugh, rolling and pounding on the ground, as if he was being teased. Peng. Before he finished laughing, Tom was hit on the head by a can of cat food thrown by Sioruo. Chun looked at Tom strangely. She didn't understand why the cat laughed, and she also noticed Sioruo's depression. She was a little inexplicable. She praised him. Why did he become even more depressed? Is she really that bad at complimenting others? Night. Sioruo made another pot of instant noodles for Chun, and added eggs and sausages. Judging from Chun's expression, she really liked eating this. Sioruo doesn't understand, whether it's because the ones she made are unpalatable, or because Chun just likes the taste of instant noodles. After eating and drinking enough, the next morning, it was time to set off again. By the way, Chun suddenly remembered something, and turned to look at Sioruo. Someone came to me before and asked me to get rid of the demon. It was nearby, and the person who came told me that there were often strange people in the nearby villages. Missing, there is a high probability that it was captured by a monster. Well, what then? It may be dangerous. Do you want to go with me? Chun asked, staring at Sioruo's face. Of course together. If you go alone, I will be very worried about you. Sioruo's answer was the same as Chun's guess. Not long after Sioruo and Chun left, a black-haired witch came to this small town with a little girl. When the little girl walked into this small town, she had a trace of worry on her face, as if she was afraid of something. Sister Kikyo, I heard that someone has seen Maiko Tsubaki here. Feng, we're just passing by here temporarily to ask for news. Don't worry about the rest, said the black-haired witch next to the little girl. The black-haired witch looks very beautiful, with dark eyes, an oval face, a jet black and beautiful soft hairstyle, tied with a plain white headband, delicate and beautiful facial features, a touch of cherry lips, and a firm and natural expression. There is a sense of melancholy. Wearing a traditional maiden costume with white on top and red on the bottom, with a simple bow and arrow on her back. She is Kikyo, the most powerful witch of this era, and the little girl next to her is her younger sister, Feng. Sister Kikyo, but I'm still a little worried. Maiko Tsubaki makes me feel very dangerous, and I feel that bad things will happen when I meet her. Feng's voice was a little timid. Don't be afraid, that woman can't hurt me. Kikyo's expression was as firm and confident as ever. With her strength, she had this confidence. And Tsubaki's purpose of coming here should also be to eliminate demons. She and I should be able to cooperate. Kikyo came here because he heard that there are monsters here. In the nearby villages, people often go missing. To cause such a large-scale disappearance of villagers, apart from the possibility of a large monster lair, there may also be a very dangerous monster doing evil. No matter what it is, she will take action to solve it. After entering the village, Kikyo asked around. Tsubaki's clothing and identity are still very conspicuous. Kikyo soon learned that Tsubaki and a young man got rid of the demon together, and the relationship between the two seems to be very close. Hearing this news, even Kikyo was a little curious. The type of strangers who are not allowed to enter will actually bring a man with them. With a man? Intimate relationship? Kikyo, who had always been calm, suddenly became a little messy. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 67. Inside the school. Syaruo was sitting on the seat by the window, and the teacher on the stage was giving a lecture, but Syaruo didn't have the mind to listen to the class at all, so he just sat on the seat in a daze. Because Syaruo's classroom is on the 4th floor, he can clearly see the scenery of the whole school through the window. He returned to the peaceful campus life again, as if in a lifetime. I didn't expect that the summer vacation would end so soon. It's okay to stay at home and be bored, and go to school. The point is, my adventures in other worlds are so fulfilling. Tell me all of a sudden that school has started, and I haven't adjusted. Syaruo felt a little dazed. The previous experience of the monster era was like a dream, it passed in the blink of an eye, time seemed to pass a little fast. Meow. Suddenly, a familiar meow reached Syaruo's ears. This voice is. Syaruo suddenly discovered that at some point, Tom appeared outside the window. Tom had an anxious expression on his face, and kept knocking on the window glass with his little claws. Tom. How did it appear here? Also, this is the 4th floor. Did Tom fly up? And why is it so anxious? Have people from another world come in? Just when Syaruo just realized it, Tom's little paw was beating the glass faster and faster, as if he was still shouting something. What's wrong? Peng. The glass was smashed by Tom, and Tom rushed in front of Syaruo, and then hugged Syaruo's face with 2 small claws, shaking non-stop. Master, Master, have you forgotten? School will start soon, and you haven't touched a single word of your summer homework. A question mark appeared above Syaruo's head. It's over, the homework hasn't been written yet. Syaruo was awakened by the nightmare, and when she opened her eyes, Tom was riding on her face, scratching her face with her little claws. Did Tom shake herself awake just now? After waking up, Syaruo looked at the blue sky and white clouds above, and only then did she have a sense of reality. Sure enough, it was all a dream, Syaruo remembered. Because the weather was so good, Tom volunteered to go down the river to catch fish for lunch, so she took a nap on the lawn while waiting for Tom to catch the fish. Fortunately, it was a dream, otherwise it would be scary if I didn't finish my homework after school started. Wait a minute, it seems that I really didn't move a single word of my summer homework. You're awake, Chun handed Syaruo a bunch of grilled fish. It turned out that even the fish had already been grilled when Syaruo was just sleeping. It was so loud just now. Is it a nightmare? Yes, it's a very real dream. I just thought that I haven't written my homework yet, Syaruo nodded. Tom wanted to laugh, but immediately covered his mouth with a cat's paw. I've slept through, and I agreed that I would grill the fish. Syaruo took the grilled fish that Chun handed over, and took a light bite, just a small bite, and Syaruo noticed the difference. It's delicious, even better than mine. Is this fish baked by Miss Chun? Sioruo looked at Chun and asked. No, it's baked by a cat. Tsubaki pointed to Tom who was eating fish. It's roasted well, should it be called a cat? Hearing Sioruo's words, Tom puffed out his small chest. Even catching and grilling fish, Tom was omnipotent. That's right, Tom, the grilled fish is indeed better than mine, better than the average grilled fish master. Why don't you call you Master Tang from now on? That's a good nickname, Sioruo teased. Meow. Tom yelled in disapproval. He felt that the title of Master Tang was not pleasant. While they were eating the fish, something seemed to be floating down the river from above the river. Tom had just finished eating the fish, and went over to look curiously. It turned out to be a very big peach, about the size of a human head. Tom had never seen such a big peach, so Tom fished the peach out of the river curiously, wanting to see if the peach could still be eaten. Meow. But after picking it up and taking a look, Tom immediately threw the peach out in fright. This peach is not an ordinary peach. There is a terrifying human face on the huge peach, which is very real. Gives goosebumps. This is a human face fruit. Seeing this daisy with a human face, Tsubaki's face turned serious. I never thought I'd see a human-faced fruit here. It's actually a fruit with a human face. Sioruo also made a surprised sound. He knew about the human face fruit. It is a very evil fruit in the original book. Every face fruit is actually a life. As long as humans or monsters eat this fruit, they will gain great power, and if they eat the fruit, it seems that the person who eats the fruit will also be controlled by the human face fruit tree. However, Sioruo guessed that it might not be the fruit tree in the original work, because the fruit tree in the original work seems to have been in a deep sleep, and was awakened only after touching the jade fragments of the Four Souls. You know the human face fruit? Chun didn't expect that Sioruo also knew the rumors about the human face fruit. Just understand a little bit, Sioruo nodded. Since the fruit can float here, it means that the location of the fruit tree is not far upstream. We still have to go there as soon as possible to get rid of the human mask fruit tree and the monsters guarding it. Otherwise, more people will die. The evil thing can't let it stay. Tsubaki glanced at the upper reaches of the river. She is ready to go now. Okay, let's go then. Sioruo hugged Tom beside him. Chun is a witch, and it is her responsibility to get rid of monsters when encountering monsters, and it is also her experience, but getting rid of monsters has nothing to do with Sioruo. She actually wanted Sioruo to stay, but no matter what she said, Sioruo would go with her, which made Chun feel helpless and also touched. The two walked up the river together. Sioruo was a little worried deep in her heart. After all, in the original book, Inuyasha, who learned the wound of the wind, fell into a disadvantage when he met the monster who guarded the mask. And Sioruo has also noticed that hundreds of people have disappeared from several nearby villages together, which means that at least hundreds of people have been born with noodles, and there may be even more. After eating so many fruits, then the monster probably already strong. Although Tsubaki is not weak, but the offensive method is too bad, only the curse and Shikigami can see past. The only thing that comforts Sioruo is that in Inuyasha, Tsubaki can be regarded as an intermediate boss. This type of guardian monster can only be regarded as a small boss. Sioruo looked at her reputation bar again, and the reputation value was increasing by about 100 points every day, and now the reputation has reached more than 900. Probably around tonight, he will almost have the prestige value of upgrading to LV2, and by then, his own strength will also usher in a wave of improvement. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 68. In front of the human face fruit tree. A pig-head monster about 2 or 3 meters tall slowly walked into the human face fruit tree, and then picked 2 fruits from the fruit tree full of human face fruits and put them in its mouth. Beiji Beiji. The human face fruit, which was the size of a human head, was eaten by it in this way. Catch some more humans, and then grow more human face fruits. As long as I keep eating them, I can become a big monster. Ha ha ha, my luck is really good, I can find such a powerful fruit tree. The pig-head monster is plump, and its body is like a ball. It doesn't look like a powerful monster at all. It tastes delicious with a bite of fruit. But there was obviously only one monster here, but suddenly a second voice came. Yes, as long as you grab more human beings for me as nutrients, then I can give you more fruit and stronger power. The one that made the sound was the human face fruit tree in front of the pig demon. Although it didn't have eyes and mouth, it looked like a dark tree, but it did speak. The human face fruit tree is also a monster. Okay, I know, I will catch more humans. I have eaten so many fruits, and ordinary mages are just my food. No one can stop me. The pig-headed monster snorted coldly, and could say no one can stop me. It seemed that it was very confident in its power. Then I wish you good luck. You have killed so many people. At that time, there will definitely be exorcists, witches, and other demon killers who will come to catch you. You may even be targeted now. By then I'm dead, but I can't move. The human face fruit tree seemed to remind the pig demon. The exorcist is just a stronger human, and the witch is just a weak woman. It's better if a woman comes, ha ha ha. The arrogant pig demon didn't pay attention to the reminder of the human face fruit tree. When there is a witch, even the tone is a little excited. It seems that she is still looking forward to the arrival of a witch. Hey, I hope there won't be a powerful demon extermination coming. After saying this, the human mask fruit tree stopped speaking. Xiaoruo and Chun walked up the river all the way, and then at the bottom of a cliff, they found a lot of fallen human face fruits. It seemed that the human face fruits fell from above. It fell from the mountain, so the human face fruit tree should be on the top of the mountain. The location is found, but how to get there? How long does it take to climb a mountain? It's so high. This mountain is too steep. It doesn't look like it can be climbed at all. How did that monster come down to catch people? Xiaoruo looked up at the towering mountain peak, somewhat puzzled. Maybe monsters can fly, it's normal. Tsubaki looked at the position on the mountain with a solemn expression, and she felt a little danger from the position of the mountain. I could feel a strong sense of evil and a sense of unease. Hearing what Chun said, Xiaoruo's face became a little more serious. Since Chun said so, the monster on the top of the mountain is really dangerous. After all, the fog monster I met last time, in Chun's mouth, it's just a little monster with strange abilities. Since you feel the danger, it is likely to be a powerful monster. Why don't we go back and make preparations and find some helpers? Xiaoruo immediately thought of calming down. This is not cowardice, this is steady. It is Xiaoruo's character to be fully prepared. He doesn't like to challenge something that is not sure, and he doesn't like to fail, let alone things that may cause death in the real world, even playing games. Xiaoruo once played a game to fight a black dragon boss, and prepared all the resources and consumables to kill 3 black dragons before going to fight the black dragon. There's nothing to prepare for, and preparation can't increase your combat power too much. Since it's already here, there's no need to be afraid. Obviously, Chun is not the same person as Xiaoruo, she has come through countless dangers. Now that Chun has said so, Xiaoruo has no choice but to persuade her. In this case, she can only support her decision. Then let's go together, and I will protect you as much as possible then. Hearing Xiaoruo's words to protect herself, Chun's mouth curled up slightly, but her smile quickly disappeared, as if nothing had happened. Chun shook his head, then looked at Xiaoruo, with a rare gentleness in his tone, but this time the demon removal is really dangerous, I can't take care of you if I bring you, just wait here obediently. Obedient. Xiaoruo always felt that Chun was talking to her now as if she was talking to a wayward child, and couldn't help but twitch the corners of her mouth. What exactly does this mean? I always feel that from her words and tone, the relationship between the two is obvious, a little more intimate than before. But does Miko-sama think of herself as a vexatious child? I can also be a helper. Hey, listen to me. Puff. Tom on the side covered his mouth again, but it was obviously too late, and the laughter had already come out. Syaruo wanted to say something, but Chun was obviously worried about him and didn't want to take him with him. Chun pulled out a paper figurine out of nowhere, and flicked two white fingers lightly. The paper figurine became a paper figurine. The giant bird carried Chun into the sky. Chunfei left, but Syaruo could only stand there helplessly. Flew away like this? Syaruo stared blankly at the towering mountain peak. He just wanted to climb the mountain to catch up, and it is estimated that the matter would have been resolved halfway through the climb. Meow. Tom was on the sidelines wanting to comfort the master. It thought it was good. Tom didn't like fighting such scary monsters very much, although those monsters seemed stupid, they were not as good as it. He really didn't take me with him. Don't you even plan to give a shot of this kind of small plot of exorcising demons? In fact, Syaruo was not very angry that Chun went straight away without taking him with him. After all, he could feel that Chun was worried about him, but Syaruo was more worried about Chun's safety at this time. After all, in the original work, Tsubaki's reputation is quite big and he is very bragging, but his record is really a bit embarrassing. No one has ever fought, and his combat performance is even more embarrassing than his record, and he was caught by all kinds of tricks. As the saying goes, the blackening is twice as strong, and the whitening is 3 points weaker, but after Chun's blackening, his performance is not very strong. The most eye-catching thing in the whole plot is nothing more than a curse on Kikyo, and then it is always abused, hair pulled by Kikyo, cursed by Kagome /. All kinds of dark history made Syaruo involuntarily want to worry about her. I'm so worried about Chun. Syaruo was really worried, but looking at this steep mountain wall, he really couldn't climb up. If only I could fly. Meow. Huh. Tom, how dare you mock me? Syaruo frowned and glanced at Tom, who was doing nothing beside him, and suddenly had a good idea in her mind. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 69. As we all know, humans cannot fly under normal circumstances. Inserting fake wings that look like wings to humans will prevent humans from flying. But it is not necessarily for Tomcat. It can not only fly, but also fly freely in the air. After all, it is two-dimensional, which fits the setting very well. Syaruo did not have the female underwear that helped Tom fly before, but that is not necessary. Probably as long as it looks like wings and can flap the wings, any clothes will most likely be able to fly. Tom, come on, I'll strap you a new outfit. Syaruo modified one of her coats with the scissors she carried with her to make it into the shape of wings, then brought Tom over, and tied Tom's calves and two arms tightly, which was the same as the original. It's almost tied, like a cat has a wing. Try to see if you can fly, Syaruo said with a hint of excitement in her tone. Meow. Tom sighed. It probably guessed what the master wanted to do, and felt a little helpless. Really, if most people tie cats with rotten clothes that look like wings and let them fly, they must have a brain problem. After all, cats are not flying animals, so how can they fly like birds? But let alone, it really knows how to fly with clothes. Not only that, Tom is very familiar with it. Tom made two run UPS on the spot, then flapped his wings a little, flew up like a bird, and made several large circles in the air. As expected of Tom, Syaruo's eyes lit up. If some modern people really see this scene, they will definitely doubt life. After all, it is unscientific, let alone mechanical, for cats to fly. Sioruo called Tom down from the air, then gave Tom a rope and tied it to Tom's body. Tom, can you take me to the top of the mountain? You try. Goodoo. Tom looked at his master's body, roughly calculated the weight, and swallowed. He would be exhausted. No, he wouldn't be able to fly at all. Meow. Tom shook the little paw. It was protesting. This is absolutely impossible. It is just a weak cat. How could it be possible to fly with such a big person? This is impossible. It does not conform to mechanics. Try it, just try it. Under Sioruo's persuasion, Tom still tried, but the thing was true. No matter how hard Tom tried, Sioruo's body couldn't be lifted up. Meters away, it is impossible to fly to the top of the mountain. Meow. Tom meowed, as if to say, look, look. Sioruo frowned. It seemed that it was impossible for Tom to fly with her. He began to think about ways again. Tom in the original book has too many abilities and cannot fly with wings. There must be other ways. After all, he is Tom, the almighty cat. Correct. As soon as Sioruo clapped his hands, he suddenly thought of another method. Isn't Tom good at magic? Sioruo was also impressed in the episode where Tom was flying on a broom. Sioruo traveled directly back to the real world, then went to a nearby supermarket to buy a broom, and then traveled back with the broom. But different from the original book, the broom that Sioruo bought was an ordinary broom at home, and Sioruo didn't buy the one that was exactly the same as the one in the animation. Here, Tom, see if you can fly with this. Sioruo handed the broom to Tom. Meow meow meow. Tom was really confused this time. What is the master doing? Give yourself a broom, let yourself sweep the floor. What is there to sweep in this field? Wait a minute, what did he just say? Fly up, fly with a broom. Does the master really think he knows magic? Huh. Seeing that Tom didn't respond, Sioruo thought that Tom didn't understand her meaning, and guessed that he hadn't studied Chinese for a long time, and some words could not be understood, so Sioruo demonstrated it and rode on it himself. I got on the broom, and then kicked it with my feet. Look, like this, it flies away with a whoosh. Meow. After watching the master's actions, Tom finally understood that the master really regarded himself as a witch and could fly with a broom. Tom was a little speechless. How could this be possible? But he pondered for a while. Some familiar, as if seen somewhere. As Tom recalled, some forgotten memories began to emerge. It seemed that he really worked with the witch for a while. Wait a minute, it really knows how to fly with a broom. Meow. Tom yelled, puffed out his chest, took the broom in Sioruo's hand, and kicked it with his little feet. Swish. The broom flew up in the air like that, and the end of the broom still had a little colored light. Tom, as expected of you. Sioruo hugged Tom and kissed him, then touched the top of Tom's head, and then sat behind the broom. He chose a relatively strong broom, which was not easy to be broken. Come on, let's go to the top of the mountain. Meow. Tom also let out a cry of excitement. He didn't expect that he would have this kind of ability, and he didn't know why he could even forget such a powerful ability. As soon as Tom kicked his feet, the broom took Sioruo and Tom into the air together, just like riding a rocket. The speed was very fast, even much faster than the Shikigami that Chun just took out. Is this magic? It's so cool, I want to learn it too. Sioruo put her hand on the magic broom, and then found that learning this flying skill requires 10,000 reputation points, so Sioruo had to give up. Unlike skill learning in the real world, skill learning in the fantasy world may be too unscientific, requiring a lot of reputation, and the more outrageous skills consume more reputation. Meow. Tom yelled proudly, it also likes the feeling of flying. It was the first time for Sioruo to fly in the air. The magic broom flew very fast. Xiaoruo firmly grasped the broom to prevent herself from falling. But just now Xiaoruo talked to Tom down there, then cut clothes to make wings, installed wings, experimented, and returned to the real world to buy a broom. It took almost an hour, and Xiaoruo didn't know how the battle on the top of the mountain was going. Now, has Tsubaki dealt with the enemy? However, judging from the fact that Tsubaki has not come down yet, it is estimated that he is in trouble. Not far from the cliff. Kikyo is a very powerful archer with very good eyesight, so she can clearly see a human being and a cat flying on a stick. Kikyo. Is it some special monster? Want to shoot it down? I didn't feel the evil spirit, it looked a bit like a human being, and the cat looked like a normal cat. Sister, what are you looking at? Feng asked curiously from the side. She just noticed that her sister's face was a little strange. It's nothing, maybe I'm dazzled. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 70. Tsubaki rode Shikigami and flew to the top of the mountain, where a very conspicuous human face fruit tree grew, and found a flat place. Tsubaki landed. Tsubaki stood near the human face fruit tree and looked up at the branches and leaves above. This is the first time I've seen a human face fruit tree. It has such a large branch that it seems to have been growing for many years. It is rumored that someone can use the human face fruit to refine an immortal medicine. I don't know if it is true. Suddenly, Tsubaki noticed footsteps coming from behind, as if a monster was approaching. As soon as she turned her head, she saw a ball. No, it should be a pig demon, but this pig demon seems to be nearly 3 meters tall, but its horizontal body is also almost 3 meters tall, so it's no wonder that Tsubaki regarded it as a ball at first. Are you the owner of the human mask fruit tree? Chun frowned looking at the figure of the pig demon. She had seen quite a few disgusting monsters, but the monster in front of her still made her feel a little nauseous, it looked too disgusting. How much did you eat? Ha ha ha, are you talking about human beings or human noodles? I have eaten a lot, maybe I will have an extra meal tonight. The pig demon licked its fangs with its fat tongue, looking at Chun's figure, there was a hint of greed in its eyes. It's actually a woman, and it's still a witch. The skin is so white. This kind of thin-skinned and tender-skinned woman is much better than the country people in those villages. I don't even want to treat you as a nourishment for human noodles. You like this? It's a pity that a high-quality woman turns into a fruit. Speaking of this, a lot of saliva flowed from the corner of the pig demon's mouth. I want to eat you into my stomach bit by bit. Feeling the greedy eyes of the pig demon, Chun suppressed the disgust in his heart, his eyes were full of disgust. If you want to eat me, let's wait until you live to see the sun tomorrow. Tsubaki stretched out her hand, pinched her fingers, and 2 paper figurines appeared between her fingers. Go. After the paper figurine was thrown out, it became larger against the wind, turning into 2 wolf-shaped monsters and rushing towards the pig demon. Snort. The pig demon snorted coldly, and took out a 2-meter-long mace from behind. With just a light wave, the 2 wolf-shaped creatures just now were crushed into confetti by it. It's just waste paper, Maiko, is that all you can do? Bang bang. The pig demon tapped on his body with the mace in his hand, and the terrifying mace made a crashing sound on the pig demon's upper body, but its body did not change at all. Knocking on his body, the pig demon was showing off his power. This kind of attack of yours can't break the skin of my uncle, so lie down honestly and wait for my uncle to eat, maybe it will make you feel more relaxed. The pig demon's mouth kept talking, as if the witch in front of him was already in its pocket. Seeing the defense of the pig monster's skin, Chun frowned. The opponent's defense was indeed beyond her imagination. It seemed that ordinary attacks would not be effective, but fortunately, the opponent was not the fast monster like last time. The body makes it unable to move flexibly. Then you try this. A silver boa constrictor suddenly appeared around Chun. As soon as the boa constrictor appeared, it hovered around her, exuding a dangerous aura all over her body. This boa constrictor is her strongest shikigami. Whether it is cursing or attacking, it is quite powerful. There are 2 horns on the top of the boa constrictor's head, which looks extraordinary. A little snake? Ha ha ha, Maiko, are you afraid of snakes because of me? The pig demon sneered, and slowly approached Chun, but as Chun analyzed, its huge body was not very fast. Go. Chun stretched out his finger to point at the pig demon, and with a whoosh, the silver boa constrictor hovering beside Chun flew out, like a flash of lightning, and the next moment, the python appeared in front of the pig demon. A mere little snake. The pig demon wanted to kill the boa constrictor with a mace, but the silver python was very intelligent, and it bypassed the mace and appeared on the pig demon's neck. The giant python opened its mouth wide and aimed at the pig demon's neck. The neck was bitten down. Ah! The pig demon felt the pain and stretched out his hand to throw the python out. Damn woman, I didn't expect you to hurt me. It's too hateful. I must eat you. The pig demon's eyes were red, and he seemed very angry. The silver python flew back to Tsubaki's side. Tsubaki's face was very calm at this time. From the moment Shikigami got the monster's blood, she knew that everything was over, but her tone was still a bit surprised. Your skin is really thick. The purpose of that bite just now was to bite off your neck, but I didn't expect it to be just a wound. The ability to make the skin tough is the ability to eat human noodles. Does it work? Maiko, did you just notice? Ha ha ha, human attacks are useless to me, my body is already invulnerable, I am the most perfect body now. The pig demon's voice was so loud that even ordinary speech sounded like it was roaring, but the arrogance in the tone could not be concealed. The most perfect? Turn into a pig. No, you are a pig, but no matter how thick a pig's skin is, it's useless to me. Tsubaki put the drop of blood that Shikigami took just now into his hand, and Shikigami spit out black liquid on the drop of blood, and slowly, the drop of blood was dyed black. Seeing this scene, Tsubaki had a cruel look on his face. You are already dead. Boom. It seems that the sound of a heart beating came from somewhere in the void, or it came from the chest of the pig demon. Pooh. From the wound where the pig demon was bitten just now, a large amount of black mist sprayed out, and the expression of the pig demon became distorted and hideous because of the pain. It wanted to cover its neck, but it didn't have any effect, and the black mist kept gushing out. Woman, what did you do? Hearing what the pig demon said, Chun didn't want to say anything to it anymore. This pig demon is already a dead pig, no matter how thick its skin is, its body is still flesh and blood inside. I am the strongest. The pig demon seemed very unwilling and wanted to struggle, but its voice became smaller and smaller, and slowly, it disappeared. The pig demon is dead. Tsubaki turned her head and looked at the giant tree behind her. This pig monster is not weak, with rough skin and thick flesh. If there is no powerful attack to break its defense, it is indeed a powerful monster. However, this monster's IQ is too low, and it has no special abilities. There is a high probability that it was just a little monster before, and then luckily encountered a human mask fruit tree, and kept eating human mask fruit. Its demon power became stronger accordingly, and its soaring strength made it so inflated. If the IQ is not high, it is easy to be manipulated, and the one who controls it is the human face fruit tree behind it.